If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't have the time to fight. And if I work tonight, I'm so tired.
Hello and welcome back to Suplex City. First off, sorry we've not done a video in over a month, but we've had laptop issues, but luckily it's all fixed. Yay! So we're back, and this week's video is a special video because I don't know if some of you know, but we actually do a radio show that gets streamed worldwide every week on Identify Radio. And for the last 4 years we've covered WWE's live tour in Glasgow. This year we got asked to cover it again, and this year was a special one because it was the first time in history that WWE have broadcasted the live show. Well, obviously live to tape, because later on in America they'll watch it. But for the first time in history they've done it from Glasgow, both Raw and Smackdown. And we were lucky enough to go along and cover it, as well as getting a few interviews. Today's one we're going to show you snippets from the Seth Rollins interview that we had at the hotel. There was a few people there as well, from Kenny from WhatCulture.com, Glasgow Live and Heart FM. There's quite a number of media people there. So we'll be showing you snippets and the questions asked towards Seth Rollins, and then next week we'll be showing you the Zack Ryder Mojo Rawley one. Fingers crossed if all the editing goes well. So that's what's happening on this week's video. Don't forget, we always appreciate your support. You know, like, share, subscribe, and if you've got any comments, just drop them in the box down below. Thank you very much, and enjoy.
Brand split's been fantastic for me. You know, I was very stoked to be the #1 draft pick overall. Not just for Raw, but for the entire company. That's a huge thing. You know, you look back at the past drafts in the history of the company, and there haven't been a whole lot of #1 picks overall. I think we only had like 3-4 drafts or something like that. So very prestigious for me. As far as the level of competition, I think that's awesome. Like with the women really pushing the envelope, bringing their brand of things to the next level, with Charlotte and Sasha and Bayley and all the ladies. It's not a knock on SmackDown, but just what we're doing on Raw right now is really pushing the envelope, especially with the women. So I welcome the competition. For me to be the #1 pick overall, I think it was awesome to. That's a lot of pressure on me to be the guy that carries the ball and stuff like that. But I love getting pushed. Whether it's by Roman Reigns, whether it's by Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, or the women. So anytime there's iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel. So the more great talent we have, there's a lot going on, the better it's going to make me as a performer. I'd like to think so. If you look at the NXT product and what they've done over the last few years, integrating kind of the independent wrestlers from all over the world, not just the United States, but from all over the world. I think that the guys you mentioned, especially Punk and Bryan, they really set the precedent for what it was going to take to get to the top in WWE. And I think WWE developmental was a bit formulaic for a long time until Triple H kind of took over and sort of rebranded the whole thing to what it is now. And you started to take a look at the journeymen, the guys who paved their way for years and years and years, and really put in all the work to get to that point, instead of just trying to manufacture talent almost like out of thin air. There's something to being able to make it on your own that I think gives you the confidence to make it here in the big leagues in WWE. And I know I'm very thankful that Bryan and Punk kind of opened the door for guys like myself and Kevin. And you look at Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and other guys who kind of made their names in the independent circuit. Without those guys kind of kicking the door down and breaking the mold, I think that we wouldn't have the same opportunities that we do now. And the guys who were behind us, who were coming, knocking on the door, kind of biting at our heels, they wouldn't have the opportunities either. So it's awesome, and I'm glad that the guys who've been working hard for years and years and years and not getting paid and busting their butts are finally getting their just due. But yeah, no, I would assume, best guess, and I'm not top brass in WWE as far as management is concerned, but I would assume this is a bit of a test run just to see how this works as far as from a television standpoint, because live events are a lot different from television. You guys who have not seen a TV product from Glasgow before, you'll get a treat tonight if you're going to the show. So you never know. You know, I think if things go well, which I assume they would, Glasgow, Scotland's always been a fantastic crowd for us. Who knows what the future holds? We'll see. I know as a global brand, we're always looking to expand and do new things. So I think it would be fantastic depending on how things roll out tonight. Yeah, it's been great, you know. I was actually really looking forward to this tour specifically just because it was, in 1 year, it was within the last few days. When we were in Leeds, I think the other night, I gave a nice speech just about how it kind of has meant a lot to me to come back and be well received by the European fans, just overall, not just in Leeds, not just in the UK, but just everywhere, Scotland too. It's just been fantastic to come back a year later and know what I went through to get to that point, and to have everybody kind of, you know, appreciate that. I think it's been really cool for me anyway, personally, you know, because it was a long road. It sucked for a good long time. I missed WrestleMania, missed the you know, April-May European tour, which is always a bummer for me. So it's just cool to get back on the road with the guys and hit the towns again and see the reaction of the people. It's been fantastic, and full circle is a good way to put it. Yeah, you know, there's always room to mend broken hearts, I suppose. You never know. I never say never. With Ambrose over on SmackDown and Roman and I on Raw, you know, obviously the reunion is not going to happen anytime soon. Ambrose is kind of kicking butt over there, and we're doing our thing on Raw. So if Roman and I have to kind of play ball on the same side to get the job done in Survivor Series, then that's what's going to happen. But I'm not opposed to the idea. You know, down the road, if the time is right and it feels good, you know, maybe I'll strap a vest on again and see what happens. Man, maybe I'd have to say maybe Cena. And I know that might strike some as odd, but I crushed that guy's face with my knee. and instead of, you know, he dropped like a bad habit, but 30 seconds later he was up like a madman, you know, spraying blood all over my face like he was Brad Pitt in Fight Club. So it was, you know, John's a tough guy, and he's worked through a lot of injuries for a long time, for the last 15 years. And to be that good for that long and hold that spot down, that's extremely impressive. And it's not just, that doesn't happen by chance. That's something that he works really hard for every single day. And so, yeah, I mean, you put all that stuff together, the fact that he's been able to come back from injuries at record pace and finish matches when he didn't need to, and, you know, make shows when he didn't have to, and do all that sort of stuff. His toughness is very underrated, I think. You know, it was an historic moment for the ladies, and I was very proud of them. But as a competitor, I know I want to be the main event every single night. And Kevin and I went out there and tore the house down and made it real tough for those ladies to go in after us and follow. But I know, knowing Sasha and Charlotte, that they wouldn't have had it any other way, you know. Because if it was the opposite way around, if Kevin and I were on last, they would have pushed us, you know, to the limit as well. And that's just what I'm talking about when I say iron sharpens iron. You know, they're gonna work to be the best. They're gonna work to get that main event spot every single night. And Kevin and I are gonna work harder, or as hard, you know. And whoever wins out is gonna be the best, and they're gonna deserve it. Yeah, you know, WrestleMania is obviously the biggest, you know, kind of event of our calendar, and it's something that I felt it broke my heart to miss the event. You know, I kind of had my mind set on trying to make it back by then. The knee just wasn't ready, so obviously being back and the swing of things this year, knowing that I'm going to get a shot to you know, have a big spot at WrestleMania coming up in Orlando here in next April is really exciting. As far as opponents go, man, honestly, I don't care. As long as I'm in that main event spot, where I'm walking in, walking out with the WWE Universal Championship. You know, it could be anybody from Kevin Owens to Finn Balor to Triple H to Brock Lesnar. I don't really care. As long as I'm right there, you know, on the marquee, I'll be happy about it.
If I bleed tonight, if I am sad tonight, I don't